Converted man here, potholer54. If you're a skeptic slash atheist, this name should, I hope, be very familiar to you. He's been around a long time, and I think his videos are informative and interesting, and he has done the Golden Crocoduck Awards, a shameful award given out to creationists and such. At any rate, he made a opinion video. Very off-brand for him, but nonetheless, fair enough. He can do what he wants. It's his channel. I watched the video and have nothing against the video. I thought it was interesting. I found nothing that I could disagree with offhand. It seemed well put together and thought out, as many of his videos do. So I looked at the comment section. That's where all the juiciness is. Yes, the comment section. So let's read some of the comment section. Oh, that's me. Forget what I said. Let's look at this. Let's be a little bit. So oil. Whoa. Come on. Oh, so hold on. Before I look at the comment section, let me contextualize this video that he's doing. He talked about where environmentalists get it all wrong, his opinion, and specifically looking at the JSO, Just Stop Oil protesters. The movement organization started at some point, and activists have joined and done various protests and gotten it into the news, etc. So that was one example that he used to make the broader point that protesting something is this just on principle, that you're protesting it. I don't like that the environment's being hurt. Okay, great. I want to lessen the environmental harm. Okay. And one example he gave us, Greenpeace got onto a Exxon rig or what have you and forced them to dismantle their ship at a very costly sum on land rather than just dismantling it there on sea. And one person said, well, the sea isn't a dumping ground, and so we need to set that as as a truth, and we need to support this idea. I was in the Navy once upon a time, and I worked on a ship, and we were told to sweep the deck and to sweep into the sea. And I didn't like that. I was like, why don't we put it in a little, trash bag and put it on, onto shore? And well, one, you can't always do that, but they also had a certain amount that they were allowed by the government to dump into the sea. A certain amount of garbage and trash that they're allowed to dump into the sea. And I'm working hard to clean this darn, deck. It would take me a little bit more effort to put it into a dustbin pan and into a trash bag and then tie that up and take it to shore when I'm done. But nonetheless, I could have done it. If we're at sea, okay, then storage is limited and maybe I can't do it then. But that's different. But there's just we're allowed to do it, so we'll do it for the sake of expediency. It's a little less work for you. We're allowed to do it, so go ahead and do it. Well, so the environmentalist person, where are they to protest the Navy from sweeping its garbage into the sea? Would such a protest be successful in changing the Navy's view on how to organize itself regarding this? Their stance is, look, it's there. It's easier, just more convenient, whatever. It's just like, it's the path of least resistance. We're allowed to do it, so we're going to do it. Well, it doesn't make it right or wrong, but protesting might be effective. It might not be effective. Depends on how you go about it. So let's just say that a group of protesters got together and stood outside an Army base or a Navy base. Let's say Navy, because Navy's more prone to doing the ships than Army. So it stood outside the Navy post and blocked the entrances to it, blocked the exits to it. Well, they're gonna get arrested. That's first of all. They might get charged with something. Now, will it get in the news? Oh yeah, absolutely. They will get in the news. And we're trying to protect the environment against these horrible polluters, and they dump their trash into the sea, and it's just terrible and horrible, and we got to change that. It's like, okay, fair enough, all right, maybe, and maybe you will succeed in getting that policy changed. But in the meantime, you've inconvenienced a lot of people. But that inconvenience was for the greater good of maybe changing something, possibly, you hope. You have no evidence that it will, but hey, look, you did something. You did something. Anyways, all right. So that's kind of my view on sort of the thing that potholers kind of talking about, is that the environmentalist, sure, they have a good goal in mind, but their methodology might be something worth questioning, especially when that methodology does more harm than good. People look down on the protesters, don't like them because they're blocking traffic. You're blocking important services. And, well, what are you doing when you're creating traffic? Well, all the cars are sitting there, vrooming their engines, idling, causing more environmental damage. So, and then if you force the Navy to stop sweeping stuff into the sea, okay, you did something, but how much of an environmental impact did that actually have in the great grand scheme of things, considering that we as a nation take our trash and put it onto giant ships and send that off to wherever to dump it somewhere else, and some of that falls into the sea inevitably, and then when it gets wherever it's going, well, you have no control over it in some third world country. You're not protesting those conditions, so you're not actually making a big impact. And you're like, well, start small, get bigger. What? Okay, but you're not really doing much of anything. But still, you're doing something. Anyways, okay, so let's look at the comments. All right. Oil companies pay people big money for these logical, quote unquote, talking points. You doing it for free? Yes, because talking against stopping oil protester, Just Stop Oil, JSO, talking about that, and Greenpeace, and as an example of maybe the environmentalist people are not going about it in a way that is logical, means that you are on the side of oil. That's the brilliance of this comment. Obviously, pointing out, hey guys, you're doing it wrong. You must be on the side of oil. No, that wasn't suggested in the video. It doesn't seem like he's pro oil. You're not saying, hey, oil good. Let's do more oil. Let's have more pipelines. Let's do more, vessels that carry oil. You didn't say that in the video. But he's pointing out a flaw in how the protesters approach the thing that they're trying to fix, oh, he must be on the other side. Brilliant. Please try to appreciate the sense of loss, grief, guilt, urgency, and desperation which drives an ordinary person to join Just Stop Oil. just a lot of They don't expect to persuade the UK government to abandon capitalism and the nonsense of endless economic growth, nor persuade the British public to accept that they have already got far more than their fair share of the planet's resources and should take less. Regardless, they feel, deep down, they feel the need to band together with like-minded others to do all they can to make change, even though they know that it's not going to persuade anyone, so they're not making any change then, because the only way to make change would be to persuade people. So how are you doing something to make change if you know that it's not going to persuade people to change? You may say their actions are counterproductive, but they are managing to keep climate change and the sixth mass extinction in the news. And very often, history has shown that protesters are hated until proven right, then are lauded as heroes. I fully expect future generations to say, JSO were heroes. Yeah, that's a lot of emotion. Where's the logic? Oh, I said that in the comments. What's your argument? So you don't expect to persuade the government or the public of your ideas, but you're going to do it anyways. But at least you get it in the news. There might be other ways to get this into the news other than this methodology. And if their actions are in fact counterproductive, that's a bad thing. Let's change that. Let's make them not counterproductive. But at least they're doing something. They're keeping climate change in the news. Well, Potholer in this video said, yes, they're keeping climate change in the news. But the news can use that and has used what these people are doing as an example of the crazy nutsoid people that are overhyping the dangers of environmental damage. Look at all those crazy people blocking traffic. Terrible, terrible, horrible people blocking the traffic. They're obviously insane. Great. So you didn't, not only did you not change minds, you fueled the fire for the opposition against you. But at least you did something. Not sure what you did, but okay. I sympathize with the hopeless feeling JSO supporters must have. Things have to change, especially living in the USA where public transportation is jokes, and trucks and SUVs have gotten so big, there's talk of revising lane width and parking stall width to accommodate them. Instead, the government should be taxing the hell out of them and requiring all passengers' vehicles to meet the same crash safety standards. What does crash safety standards have to do with oil? Gas tax should triple, and every penny should be put to viable public transport and bicycle infrastructure. Oh, man. Americans love to cry about how our country is too big for public transport, where the majority of automobile trips are under 3 miles. I can do that on my bike 15 minutes. I can do it on my e-bike in 10 minutes. But if you're lucky enough to survive the trip, there's no place to lock your bike. My son's school is 2 miles away, but between here and there, there's a high-speed automobile transition which blocks safe access for cycling. Make cycling great again. Just do something. Just do something. Anything. Just do it. Just make it. Look, make more roads, but not for the trucks, for the bicyclists. Gee, how do you make a road? Doesn't that require you to mix up stuff for concrete? Doesn't that require energy that's going to come from where? Oh, fossil fuels, right, and oil and such. Because we haven't changed that stuff yet either. Let's just tax the bleep out of gas so that the poor can't afford gas and they then have to ride a bike, which not everybody can ride a bike, but let's just assume that everybody can ride a bike. Riding a bike to go get groceries. Yes, you might be able to do it, but not everybody's going to be able to do that, especially if you have kids. Hey, well, you got to take your kids with you. You know, you can piling 3 or 4 people into the car. You're getting the groceries. All that on a bike. Sure, man. I think you're very much focusing on you and what you. Yes, you can do this, but where are you on the dot of the bell curve in terms of people that can or cannot do this? Now, public transportation. Okay, there's a bus, runs every X amount of time. Let's just say, let's see, what was the best bus that I had in California? Every 15, 20 minutes, something like that. That was like the most frequented bus. They had several buses in the same, the same bus route that they would take. That way you would be almost assured that every 15 to 20 minutes there'd be another bus. If you miss that bus, you come running up to that bus, lots of bus drivers, just, even if they see you, keep on going. They don't stop for you. Why? Well, because they're told to make it to their destination on time. And what does the bus take to run? It's not electric. So you're saying, well, we'll tax the gas, which of course affects the poor people, affects people that don't have a lot of money. They cannot afford electric vehicles because those are too costly. They cannot afford a new vehicle. That's a joke. And so you're making something worse for someone else, but at least you did something. Oh, yes. But you're not thinking of all the factors. You're thinking very much of the things that affect you. Hey, my son is just 2 miles away. I could bike my son. I've got a seat on my bike. My kid knows how to do that. But I don't have a safe way to get there. I need an overpass or a tunnel or something to do that. And I don't have that. It's very costly to build. And the amount of people that will use it, who knows? There's other drawbacks. If it's a tunnel, now you have to have lighting. Now you have to have a patrol person making sure. What about an overpass? So you have to have a fence built around it because people might jump off of it. You still need patrol because it's a dangerous place, because once you're on that path, there's only 2 ways out. So safety is going to be a concern. It's not, and then certain places of America are too big for public transport. They just are. Texas might be an example where it's an hour to get somewhere. A bus might run that route, but then you're looking at an hour between buses because they're only going to run as many buses as they can that are affordable, because the buses have to be something where you pay for the bus. Again, affecting poor people. The whole bullshit argument of the forum, Al Gore is a hypocrite because he flies in planes. The statement Gore makes, human race should not should move away from fossil fuels. Where is the hypocrisy? Al Gore is not the human race. Nowhere did this video bring up Al Gore, and you didn't even formulate this argument correctly. It would be Al Gore is a hypocrite because he flies in planes. Al Gore, let's see, Al Gore says we should move away from fossil fuels. Al Gore uses airplanes that uses fossil fuels, therefore Al Gore is a hypocrite, right? But that's just a too cute quay. It's fallacious. But he's not the human race, so he's part of the human race. So that wouldn't be the logical fallacy anyways. And yes, he is a hypocrite, but that's not a logical fallacy. If you want to, it's about accountability, which all corporations don't have. Don't they? Well, I don't know, but are the protesters surrounding the corporation asking for accountability? No, they're saying just stop oil. What does that mean? How? What do you mean by that? What's your plan? Okay, we stopped oil. Now what? Like, what's what's your plan? Yeah, let's see. Jeez. Need more environmentalists to make the Guardian great again. I like this comment. I grew up in a family where environmental activism was a given, and was taught that the means of preventing one evil should never cause as much or more environmental damage than is being prevented. Right. That's what he's talking about in this video. The engineering organizations that my extended family was, and to some degree is still involved in, always put the reduction of harm to the environment ahead of increased profit, pioneering methods for land reclamation and aggressive mining that do not pollute the water and disrupt local wildlife. It started in early 1900s. The projects they did would be undertaken by some other company that had they not won the bidding, and their biggest competitors were not so environmentally inclined. My immediate family was not in the civil engineering business, but my great-great-grandfather and uncle were. Okay, so yeah. So you're doing, the family has done something that actually is doing change. But that doesn't get you on the news. And these protesters are on the news shouting and screaming. They did something. Virtue signaled. Let's see. And then they're talking about ULEZ, I don't know, another environmental agency. Protest one thing and politicize police crack down on you like a ton of brick for some reason. Yeah, blocking traffic. Just some reason that they I don't know why they're cracking down on me. We're just blocking traffic. Here's the oil rig. Regarding the, never mind the money, because it costed them more to do it on land, they had to tow it, whatever, screw, who cares? What's the difference in energy use between disposal on land versus disposal at sea? Yeah, would sinking the oil rig be less of a carbon footprint? Exactly. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So, are the protesters doing more harm than good? I don't know. That's a question they need to show some data to say, here's the facts. We can show, if you just drop the oil rig there, this is how much it costs the environment. If you drop the disassemble it on land, here's the cost of the environment. Plus, you have to tow it. I mean, I can't imagine that sinking it would be less than towing it to shore to disassemble. It'd be equal at the best. And we're, but anyways, I don't know. Yeah, if they really want to stop oil, they should be careful how they go about it. Exactly. We support JSO. Keep it up. Go bigger. Disappointing video from you. Yeah, okay. And what's your argument? It was a brilliant video with many good points. You look back on many campaigns of the past, all these things. The ones that don't work are the ones that now alienate the normal general public. Right. Even the trucker thing in Canada. Well, that had support from a lot of people, but it also irritated people because they were noisy. We support blocking babies from getting to the hospital. Yeah, the woman's baby needed to get to the hospital, and they were blocking her. So this guy says that he supports him. Okay. The West is indeed the crack suicide squad. The rest of the world cares not one bit about climate change. They don't? Really? I didn't know that. Anything a political task that does is green seems to magically enrich them. Go figure, of course. And that's also true of many of the environmental things that America is doing as well. So there's finances. Of course, the way to drive people to do something is monetary incentive. Look what happens when windmills are short useful life. Let's see, destroying the forest, have an absolute madness. Climate people are in a cult, brainwashed by the media and their schools. See, this is taking the argument too far the other way, right? These are the same people that thought COVID was the end of us, vaccines were the answer. Therein lies the question. Humans are the problem. Why worry about the virus getting rid of the problem? yeah, let humans die. Pesky humans. I don't know that they are brainwashed or part of a cult. I think that goes too far the other way. That's kind of a too far the other way a viewpoint. There might be people that are brainwashed or in a cult, and that may or may not be linked to environmentalism. But what's your argument? No, this is an argument. Yeah, then this person says it's not true. Other places do care about environment. Okay, so the assertion of capitalism as a political economy has nothing to do with climate. It's very easy to rebut. How's it Hurley doing? I don't understand the stance against capitalism that's being combined
with the environment.
So here's this sign here. For the earth to live, capitalism must end. How is capitalism hurting the environment? What the bleep? What? Maybe their website says, maybe I should look at that next, but it's just like, what system of economy would you have? Like, what do you envision it would be instead of that? Like, what? Oh, I gotta look at their thing. Even though I'm looking at this video, it's supposed to be me reading the comments. But now, pslweb.org. See if they have an actual argument. Party for Socialism and Libertarianism. Or no, sorry, I said that wrong. PSL, Party for Socialism and Liberation. Oh, socialism. Yeah, that's worked in the past. Oh, wait, no, it's never worked in the past. You guys are morons. Got it. I think I just hit the back button. Oh, well, anyways, look, a lot of the protest people I've seen are hashtag activists. And post a hashtag, they're like, look, I did a thing. And then the news was calling it movements on Twitter for a while. It's not. If you want to make an actual change, then you have to do things that actually change things, and that's going to take money. It's going to take time. It's going to take writing letters, old-fashioned way, emails, making phone calls, and also talking with economists that know, and talking and looking at the human factor. There's a lot to consider. To convert to green, it's going to have a cost that's initially not going to be very green. And that takes time to change over. And for whatever bizarre reason that I can't understand, the most simple solution, well, at least on the surface, for the world energy needs are nuclear power plants. But the environmentalists hate those. Fusion power, that's fun. Different problems with fusion power. First of all, we haven't figured it out. Secondly, there's no guarantee that it's going to cause some damage, whatever we do. It's about minimizing that damage. And in the meantime, we need power to keep things going because we like our lights and we like our electricity, broadly speaking. The power is yours. Use logic, though, because that would be good. All right, can't wait to see the comments on this video. Bring it on! Socialism's stupid. Don't support that.